Hello everybody and welcome to the video. I am Shift. I run ADL. We have competitions. We got a street pack and a pro pack. I'll leave a link in the description to the Discord for where you guys can go compete if you're interested. But anyway, today I'm going to show you guys how to be doing liveries. I've had a lot of people ask me how they do them and they want to learn how to do them. I did a video a while back now, showing how I did them when I first got into it, and they're not very good. That video is not very good. It's not very helpful, at least not to me, not anymore. Um, so I really want to show how I do them now, compared to before. I'm gonna try to make this as quick as I possibly can because there's a lot that goes into it, and there's a lot of steps that go into it. But bear with me. We'll get through this. I'm gonna show you guys how to do liveries and like glass, but window banners and stuff like that in this video. I'm gonna be releasing other videos later on in the future, showing exactly how to like AO map and how to do wheel swaps and stuff like that, like how to work on your car, how to add lights and all that good stuff. But today is just gonna be liveries only. So I used to use GIMP. I still use GIMP, but I use Affinity now, to make my liveries. I'll leave a link in the description. It is a software that you have to buy. I think it's either $50 or $70 right now. I'm not sure. I got it on sale for 40, but it is 100% worth it if you plan on making liveries for yourself or, you know, considering starting to do them for commission based or whatever. Definitely a good software to use. They just doesn't convert to DDS, so you still got to use GIMP. But anyway, let's get through this. Before we start, I'm going to show you guys one quick thing. Fonts, um, like like text font. If you Affinity reads off of, I can't speak for other softwares. I'm sure Photoshop does the same way. But if you download fonts off the internet, you can just go to Google, type in free fonts like you see here. I've already downloaded some, so I'm not going to really show you guys how it works. I'll show you how to install it, but I won't show you, how to download it and everything like that. You just click download, and that's basically it. And then it goes to your downloads folder over here. And then these are fonts right here that I already extracted and installed and everything like that. So basically, when you download the font, it's going to, like I said, going to come to your downloads folder. You're going to extract it, and then when you open it, you'll see inside there's either open type font file or a true type font file. You're going to find the font top file, and you're going to right click on it. We'll highlight it, right click on it, and then click install, and it will install it. And then any softwares that you have that read off of your Windows fonts, it will show up in. So that's how you get fonts. There's thousands and thousands of them on the internet to use. So go there. And then World Vector Logos is where I go to get a lot of logos for cars. You can go in here and type in brands or manufacturers or whatever, and ShadesTar's going to show up in here, and it's always going to be a clean. There's not going to be any white border around it. Like the Recaro right there is only going to say Recaro. There's not going to be a white box around it. Like they're all SVG, transparent PNGs, whatever you want to call them. All of them in here, they're all vectors, so you're good to go. Like you don't have to worry about having to use some weird filter on it to make it to where the white background goes away. So this is where I go. You can also get them from Google and everything like that, but keep in mind, anytime you download stuff off Google, that white box, that white border might show up, and you might have to use some sort of weird, funky filter to get rid of it, and it doesn't always look right. So that was just quick for that. So this is Affinity. This is the software I use to get your AO mapping of your cars. Let me show you how you do that quick. I've already done it for the sake of this demonstration to make it quicker. But you're basically going to go in here and you're going to right click on the body, and you're going to see a TX diffuse, TX normal, TX maps, TX detail. You're going to see all this stuff over here on the right side pop up, right? The TX diffuse, where it says body AO, body paint, body, it's something. It'll say something like that, but it's going to be the TX diffuse always. You're going to click this little cog symbol over to the right, and this is your body mapping. If your car's body mapping is completely all screwed up, like I said, I'm going to make a video showing how to create new body maps for cars. It takes a while, and you got to put it in Blender, and anytime you go in Blender and you don't really know what you're doing, you're kind of new in Blender, well, you could very easily mess your car up. So I'll make a video later on how to do that. But if your car, if you have a body map that you can work off of to make a livery and you want to make a livery, then you're good to go. I use 4096 by 4096, and the way you do that is you click this little down arrow right here, calculate custom map size, and then type in 4096 by 4096. Like I said, I use 4096 by 4096 because it's 4K. It looks better. I use these cars in competitions. Like I said, I host competitions, so I want them to look good. So I use 4096 by 4096. Some people use 1024 by 1024. Some people use 2048 by 2048. Depends. You know, if they're not going after quality, they just want a livery on their car. Hey, it's fine. It is what it is. You know, to each your own. I use 4096 to 4096. Some people don't like it, but whatever. You don't really want to go higher than 4096 to 4096 because then your livery will get too tasking. It'll get too expensive. And if you try to have too many of those cars with like an 8K texture or 12K texture inside of the liver or inside the server at one time, then yeah, it might start like lagging and stuff like that. So don't go bigger than 4096 by 4096. Window banners, windows, glass, stuff like that. Rims, I go 2048 by 2048. I don't go 4096 by 4096 for glass. But I didn't get the glass while we're in here, so let me go ahead and get that. Because I said I'm going to show you guys how to do banners as well. Same thing here. You're just going to get just calculate the AO of the glass while you're in here. I already have a folder named tests for the sake of this demonstration. Like I said, I'm trying to fly through this because this could very easily be an hour-long video, and I'm not trying to do that. So this is all the glass in the car, basically. So you're going to save it. You're going to go in here. If my dog makes some weird noise right now, I'm so sorry. She's getting out of bed, and she's old, and she hacks. Yeah, there's a very good chance you might hear it, and I do apologize for that. But same thing. Same thing as the body. You're going to save a DDS, and then you're going to save a PNG. I'll explain that later. So, like I said, you want to save a DDS if it reads off DDS and a PNG. If it reads off PNG, only save the PNG. You need the PNG to work on Infinity because Infinity doesn't read DDS, and having the DDS just makes it easier to export and convert to DDS. Just having the file under there makes it easier. So that's how I do it. If you want, you can go ahead and go into your other skins and see if you have like any metal detail or anything like that in there to bring over, like right here, like this one. You want to copy this. And you want to put it over there. The CM skin one too, you probably should, just to make it, you know, technically right, but you don't have to. It doesn't make the CM skin, but metal detail, anything like that, you know, that's not reading off of what you're adjusting, then you want to bring over. You can also do that with driver seats and stuff like that. That'll all work. So anyway, you got your PNGs. This is what Affinity looks like when you open it for the first time. I'm sure it'll all be the same in Photoshop, I'm sure. So let's go ahead and bring the body AO, drag the PNG in there, and then this is what it looks like when you bring it in. Usually what I'll do is the first thing I'll do is I'll decide on whether or not I want to go a gradient or if I want to go a solid color. So that will change the shape of this box and how many boxes I'm going to need. So if I'm going solid color, I can just go like that. You know, I can cover the whole thing with this box and I'll be fine because I'm going to color this box to the base color I want it to be. Also, what I just noticed that I should probably explain if you do get Affinity is snapping. This little magnet up here says snapping. You see how when I drag the box up here and it gets to the corner of the mapping, it has these little lines that show up? That's indicating to me, and it's kind of snapping to it as well. It's indicating to me that I'm at that border. Like I'm the exact size of this object underneath it. That's handy to have for like boxes and stuff like that. But you're trying to like precisely place logos and stuff like that, I recommend turning that off because it can be kind of a pain to deal with snapping, like logos snapping and locking places where you're not trying to get them to snap and lock to. So, it's a key. That's a key tool right there. Just gonna give you guys a heads up. So let's say I want to go solid color. Let's say I want to go black with the whole thing. Okay. Well, there we go. The whole car technically right now is black. We can go up here. We can go File, Export, export it as a PNG. Let me not run through that just like that. So you go File, Export, and then up here at the top, whatever it was that you saved it, PNG, DDS. Like I said, there is no DDS in here. You can't save as DDS, but you can save as PNG. That's why I said save it as PNG as well. Go to Export, and then go find that car's folder. When you go to export it, this happens to be the ADO Elite E92. So you're gonna go into that skin, go into that folder, and then I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna export the PNG. Yes. Go back in here to showroom. I'm going to reload this. Make sure that I'm on the livery. I have the livery chosen that I want to look at. Click open showroom, and then right now it's just green because it's reading in DDS. It's just green. If I click skin editing mode right here, where you see the whole car goes black, even the windows turn white. And the reason being for the windows turning white, I'll show you. It's because of the PNG that we have saved. We'll fix that later. But you see, now the whole car's black. We're good to go. So we'll close this. Say I like that base color. Let's go a different base color. Let's go like a blue. So that way you guys can really see it. So now, if I want to see the blue on the car alongside of the other designs I'm doing, I can put it in multiply. If I don't care to see the blue while I'm putting the stripes and the shapes and everything like that on the car, then I'll just keep it in normal, and I'll toggle the visibility to where I can't see it. And now I'll go in here and I'll grab my pen tool, and I'll make some shapes. So I'll just make a quick shape. And then this is with the pen tool right here on the right side, like I said. I'll make a quick shape. Whoops. Control Z undoes something. So when you're in pen tool, you can't edit these nodes. These little blue white boxes are called nodes. You can't edit them when you're in pen tool. This white arrow right here, however, is the node tool, and allows you to move these white boxes around. So wherever you want them to be. Sorry, I do apologize for my dog. It allows you to move these white boxes around. And if you notice up here, you have a corner. This is a 90-degree, this is a sharp corner. This is it's called an obtuse. Like for those of you that are, didn't fail math class, this is called an obtuse, and this is like an acute curve. Obtuse curve and acute curve. So you can actually, if I click this, you can turn it to a rounded corner to match, something. Like if I'm trying to match that shape right here, I probably want to go with the bigger one. So we'll go with that. And I'll bring this up here like that, kind of try to match this a little bit. I'm not trying to put too much work into this because, like I said, this is a demonstration. But still want you guys to see what it will look like. All right, so don't want it to look like crap. So I can make that shape up here in the right side. If you're still, I like to go into select mode when I do this type of stuff because the nodes make it harder to see. The pen tool makes it hard to see. The node tool makes it hard to see. If you're in select mode, and it just shows the curve with a box around it because it's selecting the object, where the nodes you have control over the nodes. Also, one more thing about the nodes that I should probably show you. Say you're trying to get something to line up perfectly. Say I want these two nodes right here to be perfectly in line with each other. Well, up here you have this align. And if you align them vertically or horizontally, then it will, in this case, I want to do vertically. I don't want to do horizontally. So I'll align them vertically. You see them move in line with each other. Just click apply. And that's it. And if, say, I want to align these two, I want to align these two horizontally. So now I'll click apply. I still have them both selected. And if you have two selected still, you can click one, drag it, and move it in place. If you want to not have two selected anymore, then you just click one of them, and it'll only select that one. Sometimes that can get frustrating when you go try to move one and you move a whole bunch of them after you just selected a whole bunch of them. Just click that one and it'll take it away. So now that you know how the nodes and all that work, these are all your tools over here, by the way. This is gradient, bucket fill, stuff like that. So, a lot of it's self-explanatory, but, this is square, circle, rounded edge, rectangle. A lot of it's self-explanatory, like I said. But yeah, I'll go back into select mode, make sure I still have my curve selected. And you want to make sure that your layers are in the right order as well. Whatever is higher up in the layer list will show up over top of the lower ones. If that makes sense. So like, let's get this stroke done and then I'll show you guys. So to create, the look of it, the color of it and everything like that, you go in here and you go to appearance. And the stroke is exactly what it says. That's the stroke color. So let's go, we made it blue, the base color blue. So let's make this stroke, let's make it yellow. And you can move it around in here too to kind of fine tune it. Let's make the stroke yellow. Let's click stroke. Let's make the stroke a little bit bigger. There we go. And then you can go right here to miter, and this will, like, for the sharp corners, this will make them. That's where this comes into play, for the sharper corners. So the smaller numbers, obviously, it's not going to be. It's not going to be very. I'll explain it. So I'm getting ready to zoom in, and if you like to use hotkeys, like I do, Control and the plus and minus sign next to the 0 and the backspace allows you to zoom in, but you got to hold Control when you press them. So I want to zoom in to get a finer look at this, and I noticed down here on the edges they're kind of round. I want them to be sharp in this example. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to turn the miter, and I'm going to make it, let's make it 20. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I see one side got sharp and one side didn't. Usually what that means is that I have to move one of these nodes. Bam, just like that. You see that? I moved that one ever so slightly, and that spike appeared. And you can, make them bigger. You can make them 40. It'll elongate these a little bit. But that's how you change that. Say if you wanted to have sharp points, that's how you do that. And let's say the fill, I want to go black with the fill. Leave it just like that. I think that looks pretty cool. Actually, you know what? I don't really like that. Let's go with a gradient. So the way this works is we're still selected on the curve. You want to make sure when you're using the gradient, you're selected on what you want it to be selected on. So we're going to start here and we're going to go down here. So now this is going to have a gradient color to it, but I want to adjust the gradient color. I want the front up here to be red, and I want it to turn to purple back here, right? So I'm going to click right here. I'm going to change the color right here. So I said I want it to be red up in the front like that. And then let's go with the red, with the flash. And then back here, I want it to be like a purple, like I said. So we'll go like a purple. And let's add a little bit of static to this. Now you see it adding static right here. Pay attention to the purple. You see right here it's adding static, giving it that kind of fuzzy look, the white noise look. You can have that or not have that. I'll put it on there just for the sake of the demonstration. You notice when I clicked off, it put a dot right here. I don't want that dot there. I don't know why it does it every now and then. So I'm going to go Control-C, and you're going to see I got all my stuff back. So click the arrow. Now I can deselect it. I want to see what that looks like in game. I just did this work. I want to see what it looks like in game now before I go any further, before I decide I want to take this and put it to the other side. So I'm going to unhide this. I'm going to leave this just like this. I'm going to go File, Export. I'm going to go right back over the body AO as a PNG. Yes. And I'm going to go back in here, go into CM Showroom, make sure I'm in skin editing mode. And bam, what do you know? Now the car's blue, and I got this little design here going on, and I can fine tune it as I want to, to make it look like however I want. But right now the windows being white are really distracting me. So let's fix that. I want to open this. I want to open the glass now. And, I want to put a tint over the glass. So we're going to do that. Let's put another box over top of this. We're going to fill this black. We're going to turn the opacity down on this black window to like 70. I'm going to keep it 70. No, let's go. I don't want a dark tint. Let's go 50. We'll go 50% tint. And then now the background, the actual glass picture, the PNG, I'm gonna turn this all the way down to 0. Because if I don't, then you're still gonna see that white. See how that white shows up from the glass? I don't want to see any of that white. So I'm gonna turn the background all the way to 0. I'm gonna go File, Export, keep it PNG, Export right over top of the glass. Yes. Go back in the show. Now my glass is black. Now it's not distracting me anymore. Now I can actually focus on my livery. Same thing goes with the banner. Appeared banner. DX diffuse. Click that. Calculate the AO. Bring it into affinity. Make the banner. Bam. You're good to go. Just make sure that you don't forget to convert it to DDS, which I'll show you guys here in a little bit. But say you like that. You're like, yeah, that's cool. I dig that. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to make sure I'm still in select mode. I'm going to right click, copy, right click, paste. Now up here at the top, this is flip horizontally, flip vertically. I want to flip it horizontal or vertically right now. So I'm going to, nope, it is horizontally. I want to flip it horizontally right now. And then I'm going to just move it over here. And if you notice, because I have snapping turned on, you see those bars letting me know I'm perfectly in line with that other side right now. So I just have to bring this down to the exact location that one is. And usually what I'll do is I will create one whole side of a car, and then I'll copy them all and then flip them and turn them over here. So I won't do the decals and everything like that. I mean just the body paint, just the stripes, everything like that. I'll make them, flip them over to the other side, group them all together. So basically I can take these two and group them. And now they move together, right? But I'll do that, but for one side. I'll do one whole side, and then I'll constantly be checking it and seeing showroom with skin editing mode on, making sure that I like it. And then I'll group all that one side together and then flip it over. And then I do the top bumpers and everything like that individually by itself. And then, I'll have it grouped over here. I'll have it grouped left side, right side, body paint, stripes, whatever, and then same thing for decals. Left side decals, right side decals, top, back, front decals, so just organization is key. And then if you want to save, because Affinity does have a tendency to always close out of the program when you're working on something. It's happened to me a bunch. It's happened to my buddies a bunch. So just be sure that you are doing a file save as every now and then. Anytime you get far enough in your work to where you're like, I don't want to lose this, and you remind yourself, just file save as. So I go file save as, and then I have a folder for all of my Affinity projects. And then you'll just save it in here, for named whatever you want, blah, blah, blah. So, let's say you have your livery done, everything's good to go, you like it, everything's exactly how you want it to be. And it's time to convert to DDS. Well, now, this is GIMP. I'll link I'll link everything in the description that I use for everybody that doesn't have it. And I do the same thing here that I did in Affinity. Once I'm done in Affinity, I'll bring it in here, and let's go ahead and export this like this. Let's go File, Export the PNG. Yes. So say my livery. Let's throw a couple of decals on here too, just to kind of show what I was explaining earlier. So if you, whoops. Oh, I want to show that too. Okay. If you download logos off Google, this is what I meant earlier by sometimes they might show up not like as just the logo. There's a white background. So There are ways around this sometimes. For instance, this RTS logo. There is a way around it with this logo. So let's copy this. Let's go in here and let's go paste. Now, if I just leave this in normal right now, and I unhide this rectangle, and say I just put this right on the hood, or right on the roof, just like this. Let's make it a little bit bigger, so that way you can really see it. I put this right on the hood, just like this. Well, I don't want that white box there, so I can take this one, and because it only because it's white and black, will this work? Will work every now and then on other times too, depending on the colors. So I can go over here and I go to normal, and I can go to either multiply, which takes the white away for some reason, I don't know, but it takes the white away. Or you can go to darker color, and basically it'll, you see, it looks like multiply in this case is the better option because it shows the whole logo. Darker color kind of takes a little bit of the weight. So the RTS logo will work. So like I said, black, just solid black logos with a white background, it works. Works just fine. And I'll even show you. I'll export this right now. And you see the RTS logo shows up just fine, no problems at all. But sometimes you run into logos like the advanced clutch logo. Let's copy this. Here's a trick I'm going to show you guys to always ensure that your logos and your decals are placed over top of everything else in the layer group, and you don't have to go back over and move them yourself individually after you're done. Because that will happen. If you just come in here and you just copy paste, blah, 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 you will have a whole bunch of logos below your base color. And by the time you put everything back to normal, you won't even see all the logos you just put on. So an easy way to avoid that is whatever logo you have highlighted. So like right now I have this RTS logo highlighted. Right click on that box, inside that box, and then click paste. And you see the ACT logo posted up here at the top. If I right clicked right here and click paste, you see it's down here. It showed up down here. That's just the way it is for some reason. I don't know why, but if you have, like I said, if you have a logo selected, right click on that one and paste it before you have a bunch of them down here. Usually it'll show up way, like if I have the rectangle hidden and I do this, paste, well now it shows up below the rectangle. So now when I unhide it, I can't see it. So, and that's usually, you'll find yourself toggling the visibility of your base color a lot, so that way you can actually see where you're placing your logos. So just make sure that you're, when you are pasting them, you paste them above. And like I said, the easiest way to do that is to have this logo select, have whatever logo is on top selected and paste it there. Or, if you're on the right side or the left side, then do it like that. You know what I mean? But anyway, back to the example. So let me place this somewhere where, let's put it right here. So we'll hide that again, or make that normal again. And this is how you test to see if your logo is going to actually show up or not. You have to bring back the base color of the car and everything like that. Like if you're trying to use a white background logo and you're not sure if it's going to show up properly. Unless the white background just doesn't bother you. It bothers me, I don't like it. So you have these filters over here. Right now it's set to normal. You can go darken, you can go multiply, you can go color burn, linear burn, darker color. You have all these different things in here. Some of them look cool, some of them, whatever. I like my logos to look the way they're supposed to look with the actual colors that are supposed to be on the logos. So I don't like using these filters. Sometimes, like I said, if it's white and black, it's fine. It works out just fine. Multiply and darker color work just fine. But for ones that have colors like that red and kind of silverish stripe right there, they don't show up properly. So that's why I said use World Vector logo in the beginning of the video to avoid downloading logos such as this one. It just makes it harder to make your livery look good, is all it really is. And another thing I wanted to show you guys earlier about the shapes that I forgot to mention. Two things actually about the shapes. So let's go ahead and hide this. So if you're using Affinity, say you really like this design, the yellow stroke with the 40 mite, or with the what's the miter, 20 miter with the purple and red inside. You really like that style. You want to keep it to use for future projects. Well, if you're in the select arrow over here, the move tool, you can get confused with them, the node tool and the arrow tool. Sometimes I'll go to try to move something and I'll still be in the node tool and it won't move because I'm not on the right arrow. So make sure you're in the move tool, the select arrow, and now you can right click on it, and you see down here at the bottom it says create style. So we're going to see what that does. So if I go over here to styles, if I have this one selected over here, and I go over here to styles, like I said, I want to save that. All these style 8 to 40 are styles that I have personally created myself. The unicorn to halftone, these are ones that Affinity gives you when you download the software. So you can create your own. So like I said, say I wanted to save that. I like it, I want to keep it. Right click, create style. Well, now you see that's a style. It was created. If I want to add say I want to add a shadow to it, I can come over here, add a shadow to it, bring this up like this, add a shadow to it, make it fuzzy, make it sharp, whatever I want to do to it, and add it. There's other things like bevel, outline, like there's all these little effects you can put on your shapes that you create. Like I said, you can save styles. Effects also save with the style. So say you have a shadow or an outer glow, or you made it 3D, or you beveled it, or whatever, all that saves with the style as well. So you can have multiple versions of the same style just with different effects on it, for different applications. So there's that. You can do a solid color, do a gradient like I showed you, or you can also do this thing where, one more thing about styles. Sorry, I'm so spacing the brain, but right now it's set to default. From Affinity, the website, you can actually download styles. So these are ones that my buddy sent to me, but you can download from the website, and they're just saving their own style category. So there's that as well. You can download ones. I believe you can download ones people have made, and you can download ones that Affinity has a website. But let's say I really like the shape, but I don't want a gradient. I want a texture inside of that shape there, and I want some. I don't know. Let's see what we got, and then we'll decide. But I'm gonna go back over here to layers, and I'm gonna keep this one like that, how it is. Let's make sure we got the style saved. We got the style saved. I want to keep that one exactly. I don't want to mess that one up in case I revert back to that, because I do like it. So let's go to fill over here on this one, and then we're gonna get rid of the fill. I like the yellow stripe, but I want to do something different on the inside. So I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go file, and then I download these things from Google, wherever, to as like inlays basically, and they're just pretty much full-blown graphic, like full-blown liveries that you can use, like a whole livery if you want, or you can do like I do and use them basically as just like an inlay, just to put inside of something, which I'm getting ready to show you. Let's say I want to go flowers. Let's go flowers on the inside there. So back to the tools over here on the left side. This is your vector crop tool. Now, instead of like trying to like crop this and make it whatever, blah, blah, you can use a vector crop tool, and you can literally just resize it to, only get the design basically. And, just like that, I like that. Let's copy this and let's paste it over here. Now, like I said, I wanted this to be I want this design to go inside of that and only that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to layers. I'm going to take this background image right here and I'm going to drag it inside of this curve in my layers. So now I can move it around to, whatever I want to be there, you know, and I like it how it is. And now I can, if I like that, I can save that all together and then copy it over the other side and, bam, we're good to go. So that's also an option to do, if you have an image you want to use as an inlay for a shape you make, you can do that. There's lots of things you can do in the software, but I'm going to show you all the basics basically right now, and how to, go on from there, how to get started basically. So I got all this done. Let's pretend the whole livery's done and I really, really, really like it, right? So I'm gonna open up GIMP, and GIMP's the same way. You want to open up the folder. Oh, we got it already. You want to open up the folder, and let's go ahead and export this. All right, so we got it exported. Now I'm going to go back into GIMP, open up the cars folder again. I'm going to drag the body AOPNG into GIMP. I'm going to keep. I'm going to go File, Export as body AODDS. Sorry. You're going to replace, and then in here it's going to come none and none and no mini maps. The compression you're going to set to BC3 DXT5. Mini maps, you're going to generate mini maps, and then you're going to export. And this is needed for the game to read it. So like I said, it works in showroom and skin editing mode, but say you forgot to convert it to DDS. Well, I've already converted the skin to DDS, so it's not going to make any changes. But watch the windows. So because the windows are DDS, they're showing up as that, and that's not what I saved it as, that's not what I wanted it to be. So I want it to be dark again. That's because I forgot to, export it to DDS. If I tried to go into game with it, it's not going to show up the way it does in skin editing mode if I have not converted to DDS yet. If the body is in PNG, then yes, it will show up in game, it'll show up in a server, it'll be fine. But if you have it in skin editing mode and your livery is in PNG, and that's how you're able to see it in CM Showroom, it's not going to show in game because in game it's reading as DDS. Just to so there's no confusion there. So wanted to show you guys that before I converted them both. So we got the Glass EXT right here. We're going to same thing, export as Glass external or exterior DDS, replace. Like I said, BC3 DXT5, generate mini maps, export, and then now I can take it out of skin editing mode. Windows are tinted. Everything's good to go. We're good to go. I really like how all this stuff turned out. Sick. Now I got a livery done. Obviously I'm speaking hypothetically throughout this whole thing. I'm not, I would not want that livery on my car, but maybe if it's finished. But this is where you can go. These are the type of liveries that when you just sit down, these things take hours to do. It's not a matter of going in there in a couple hours and getting done and no. Every shape you see is hand drawn. Like it takes some time to get these things looking nice at least. So sorry, excuse me. So that's basically the tutorial on how to, how I do liveries now at least. I'm going to show you guys one last thing, and it's these livery icons over here. You can obviously do the previews too, like you see the previews are set here. These are previews that I created. If you go over here and you go to the skin that doesn't have a preview yet, and you click this down arrow where it says update previews, you can use presets. Kunos, the one, doesn't look too bad. Dynamic doesn't look too bad. None of them really look terrible, but you know, it'll update your previews for you just like it just did. And if you want, you can click options, and it'll bring you in showroom, and basically you can use your arrow keys at this point and your mouse, and you can create your preview, and you can click this eyeball here and it'll generate an image, and it'll give you like it'll supposed to but I guess it didn't. Usually it'll ask you, do you want to save? It'll show you a picture and ask you if you want to save. That's weird. Hasn't happened to me before. But yeah, you can update just this skin to look like this preview. So if I click just this one, the single box with the plus sign changes just that skin, while the multiple one changes it for all of them. So you see now that one is that, and these ones are still this. But that's how you do previews. And like I said, if you want to make a little livery icon like that, I also use Affinity to do that. I hope I'm not forgetting anything with the livery. I don't believe so. Rims are the exact same way as, you know, body and glass. You just get the AO, you export it, you know, in DDS and PNG, and you know, put in Affinity and do it exact same way. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else at all that you guys would need to know. I guess I could show you guys fonts. Over here, this is how you get your fonts. Like I was saying, if you download them off the internet, then you'll be able to see them in here. Sorry, my mind spaced. So let's go ahead and change the font to black. Oh, you see how it's inside this curve? That's why you can't see it. So if I drag it out of this curve, it shows up. I didn't realize I had it inside this curve. If you have something like text, image, anything like that inside of a curve, it will only show up if it's inside of that curve. It won't show up outside of that curve. Like on your body. Like, so say, like I just had it in there. Now if I bring it back over, you see how it's showing up over there through the curve, but it's only showing up inside of the curve? That's what happens basically. So let me drag this back out. And like I said, you can change the font. You know, you can download all these fonts. All these cool ones are ones I've downloaded. You know, you get these off the internet. I showed you guys how to install them. And then same thing with the stroke happens with the text, or same thing with the shapes happens with some texts. I'm not going to say all text, but some text. You can change the stroke color over here, and it will actually, you know, change. So let's go bright yellow, and let's zoom in. Let's see if, yeah, see, so this one has a stroke. So you can change the color of the stroke, which is, you know, these little lines around it, and then the fill, I'm assuming, is the black. Yep, and you can change the color of that just like that. So like I said, all these fonts you can get off the internet. They're very, very, very easy to install. You just download them, extract the folder, and then right click on the true type or the open type font file, and you install it. That's it. I mean, it's that simple. But anyway, I do really hope this tutorial helped. Like I said, I will be giving more tutorials in the future on how to AO map, how to do wheel swaps, how to do this and that, anything you guys want, you name it, and I will put a video out on it as long as I approve of it. I won't do things that I personally do not approve of. I will not show you guys how to do things I don't approve of. So Like I said, hope this helps. If you guys have any questions, reach out to me. Be sure to post any comments down below on what you want to see in the future. Like I said, I'll link all the descriptions of everything in the description. And also, if you have any advice for me, how to make my liveries better, or things that you would do, or things you've learned that you would like to explain to me, then 100% feel free to reach out. Let me know. Put it down in the comments for others to see as well. And if you guys want to join ADL and come drive with us, like I said, we have competitions. We usually drive every single night, but come join ADL and get some doors with us and join the comps and have some fun. But anyways, I'll catch you guys next time, and peace. Thanks for watching.